Coming up on Citrus TV News, one upcoming event on campus is hoping to bring the community together for a night of fundraising. What the event organizer says he's hoping to accomplish next.
And Joe Biden officially enters the 2020 presidential race. Find out which big-name New Yorker is funding his campaign.
And the former CEO of Nissan was just granted millions in bail. But the process is not over. We'll tell you about his charges and the trial he awaits. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Today's the last day for Syracuse and ESF students to pick up block party tickets. Good evening, I'm Zach.
And I'm Gilat Melamed. For those also attending Mayfest that are 21 and older, alcoholic beverage bracelets are still available for purchase tomorrow. Bracelets are $3 a piece.
On Sunday, the Goldstein Auditorium will host the third annual Dick Clark Gala. The event features a talent showcase of SU students, with performers donating to their charities of choice. The gala itself will raise funds for Say Yes to Education, a local and national nonprofit raising money for public education. Host and founder Jonah Nielsen said he hopes to bring the community together with this event.
I saw the gala as a night where everyone could kind of drop these guards, come together as one, enjoy food, enjoy the talent, enjoy just being with each other and not caring about organizations and whatnot.
Tickets are $5 on the Shine box office website, and the event will run from 6 to 8 p.m. on Sunday.
Today marks 21 years to a Syracuse University tradition. Shadow Day is a key event that invites 100 fifth grade students to visit the SU campus. These students get an opportunity to see what it's like to be a college student. Students tour campus and even get to speak with student athletes. And as the class of 2019 is preparing for convocation, the class of 2020 now has its class marshals. The university announced juniors Serena Omo-Lamai and Kyle Rosenblum as the senior class marshals. Omo-Lamai is a bioengineering major and an 1870 scholar. Rosenblum is pursuing a dual degree in psychology and policy studies and is a Coronat scholar. The two students will represent their graduating class throughout their senior year and at the graduation ceremony.
Now, Gilat, the weather was actually pretty nice today. There was a lot of sun, pretty nice temperature overall, not too much wind.
Yeah, it was feeling almost like a day in late May, but what will the weather be for Mayfest tomorrow and for the rest of the week? Adam Sperling is here to let us know.
All right, so we're going to hold our horses on Mayfest for now. I've got some big news for that. But for now, right outside, it's 62 degrees. Rain will not start tonight until about 2 a.m., and it will stay warm-ish overnight. Let's take a look at the rest of the day. 7 p.m., just when we get out of the studio, is going to be 62 degrees. It's going to drop down pretty drastically to 55 degrees by 10 p.m. 1 a.m., it's going to be 53 degrees, and we're still going to be seeing some clouds. But as you can see here, the chances of rain are going to swoop up just about midnight, and that's going to get some rain in by 4 a.m. all the way through 7 p.m. And as we'll see later in my forecast for Mayfest, it will continue. Zach, Gilat, back to you.
Thanks, Adam. Today, former Vice President Joe Biden launched his presidential campaign. The 76-year-old Democrat is the 20th Democrat to declare a run for the White House. Governor Andrew Cuomo will be opening up his vast fundraising network to support Biden's campaign. Take a listen to what he had to say about Biden earlier this week.
If I had a crystal ball, I would say, and I would hope that Joe Biden would get into the race. I think he has the best chance of defeating President Trump.
We're going to welcome in Citrus TV analyst Michael Furnari. We just heard from Governor Cuomo there. Why is he aligning himself with Biden?
I think Governor Cuomo sees Joe Biden as kind of an old school centrist Democrat, kind of similar to the vein that he's had a lot of success with in New York State. Now, Andrew Cuomo has an absolutely massive fundraising infrastructure. He's raised about $100 million since 2010 for his various campaigns. And because Joe Biden announced so late into this race, he's really behind the 8 ball in terms of fundraising. That infrastructure is going to help him a lot.
Now, Gilat mentioned earlier, he's the 20th Democrat to enter this race. Where exactly does he fit in the 2020 field?
I think he represents kind of a nostalgia for the Obama years because he was so closely attached to that administration. And speaking of President Obama himself, we actually got to hear from Joe Biden today about what he thinks about the former president's support.
I asked President Obama not to endorse, and he doesn't want to. Whoever wins this nomination should win it on their own merits.
Now, this is his third time running. How successful do you think he'll be this time around?
His candidacy looks pretty strong. Most polls right now have him between 20 and 28%, and that's good for either first or second place. He's right there with Bernie Sanders right now at the top of the totem pole, so he's looking pretty strong.
All right. Thank you, Michael. 4 schools in the Syracuse City School District are competing for a new prize today in the first ever Drone Racing League competition. An educational grant and support from Carrier allowed these schools to create drone teams so they could practice. Participants will need to complete 3 laps of an indoor course to win the competition. And researchers at SUNY Upstate have begun testing an oral insulin pill. They hope the pill will replace daily insulin injections, which can be both painful and inconvenient. Insulin has long been criticized for its cost, but the researchers say it's too early to determine the price of this pill.
And Central New York bus company Centro has announced plans to expand into 4 other counties within New York State. Centro received a $5 million grant from New York State on Wednesday. Centro will consult community members and businesses for potential new routes. In past years, Centro has reduced fares and routes to compensate for lower income. And 65 people are being charged as part of a massive drug bust in central New York. Over 30 people were hit with charges of selling narcotics in 3 CNY counties, including Onondaga County. Police say they seized heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl priced at around $340,000.
And the latest in the community: when most people think of Syracuse, they think about the campus in the city.
But Sabrina Maggiore tells us how one urban farm on the south side of Syracuse is planting for a purpose.
I think it's cool though, compost. First time I ever heard of compost was at Brady Face Center.
Danielle Thomas may live in the city, but her heart's right here on the farm.
Oh my God, you can really smell the tomato.
She's new to farming, but she's picking things up quick.
Just to know, like, what's good soil, what's bad soil.
Danielle's been with the Brady farm for about a year and loves working here.
I feel free here. Like, there's a lot of things the Brady farm definitely offers. It's just so many.
Located on the south side of Syracuse, it's safe to say the Brady farm isn't necessarily a traditional farm. Here they're planting for a purpose.
While it's not much right now, the farm's actually laying the groundwork for what's to come. It'll sell affordable produce to residents who can use government programs to pay for their food, filling an accessibility gap and providing the community with healthier options. Something Jacob Chesler says this community needs.
We have some of the worst food deserts in the country, at least in terms of disparity between access to food and the ease with which people are able to get a hold of stuff like that.
The farm also donates packed produce boxes to community members who would struggle accessing the food otherwise. Danielle likes her choices.
Winter squash, garlic, mushrooms.
Just some of the produce you'll find in a box. In food deserts like Syracuse, vegetables can be a luxury. There aren't many grocery stores in the city, so residents are forced to shop at small markets. And produce there can get costly.
Grocery stores that we did have are very expensive, and I'm telling from my experience.
Someone donated a box to Danielle, providing fresh produce for her whole family to enjoy.
I don't know who did it. I appreciate it.
Sabrina Maggiore, CitrusTV News.
Governor Andrew Cuomo announced the second phase of construction for JFK Airport this morning. A new building will allow trucks delivering goods to go to a separate area so that traffic can flow better. The airport will also get 2 new terminals, better security, and more customer service. The second phase is expected to be done in 2 years.
After American teen Otto Warmbier was held captive in North Korea, the country wants payment for his care. We'll tell you how much the U.S. is getting billed.
And environmental protesters are taking to London streets to challenge the British finance industry. We'll have more on the measures they took to get their voices heard. CitrusTV News will be right back.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They'll test you. try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
You're watching Citrus TV News. The Department of Defense cleared charges against its acting defense secretary today.
Patrick Shanahan was accused of violating ethics rules by promoting Boeing products in his current position. Before his role as acting defense secretary, Shanahan worked for Boeing.
Investigators interviewed more than 30 witnesses and reviewed more than 7,000 pages of documents to reach their conclusion of clearing Shanahan.
The North Korean government is demanding that the United States pay $2 million in medical bills for Otto Warmbier.
Warmbier was an American college student who was held prisoner by Pyongyang. He eventually died of his injuries when he was returned home in 2017.
North Korean officials handed the bill to a former State Department special representative during Warmbier's retrieval from the country. The Trump administration has yet to pay the bill.
And Nissan's former CEO has been granted bail in Japan.
Carlos Ghosn was released on $4.5 million. He faces charges of financial misconduct after allegedly funneling $5 million from Nissan into a car dealership. He is currently awaiting trial on other separate charges for failing to accurately report his income.
As well as personal investment losses to Nissan, Ghosn denies the charges.
Protesters from a group in London continue to march in the city.
The group called Extinction Rebellion protested and disrupted the city's transportation system in the past few weeks. The group is demanding that the finance industry speak on the impacts it has on the environment.
Protesters have gone as far as blocking the entrance of London's Stock Exchange building. Police have arrested more than 1,000 protesters so far.
And coming up after the break, Adam Sperling has your Mayfest forecast.
And fair warning, it's not pretty. Citrus TV News, we'll be right back.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. Let's take a look at your Mayfest weather. Mayfest morning, this is going to be about 9 a.m., 54 degrees, but it is going to be raining, and you will see in a minute that's going to be a bit of a theme throughout the day. Let's take a look at your muddy Mayfest. 11 a.m., we're going to be seeing temperatures rise a little bit to 58 degrees, steady rain and high winds from about 11 a.m. to about 2 p.m. when we do see a bit of dry relief. It's going to be cloudy though, so you're not going to be seeing that sun. But winds are going to be staying strong at that higher temperature, 64 degrees. And by 5 p.m. when you're heading out, it's going to be 61 degrees, but the rain is going to be coming back. Now let's take a look at what we can see for Block Party. By the time you're heading in, it's going to be 58 degrees, but again, still rainy. Near 100% chance of rain. However, if we get closer to 9 p.m. and 12 a.m., you can flip a coin as to whether there will be rain or not. It's going to be 50-50. So I'm going to say 9 p.m. I'm going to flip a coin. If it's heads, it's rain. 12 a.m. I'm going to flip a coin. If it's tails, it's rain. Hopefully, I get tails and then heads. That's it for me for now. Gilat, back to you.
Thank you, Adam. 6 months ago, a Citrus TV visited a local Camillus diner when they opened their doors. Our reporter Lilia Wood checked in with the restaurant's owner and arrived just in time for some new beginnings.
This Camillus diner was packed as it is every morning. Serving coffee, coffee. And did I mention more coffee?
We'll fill up around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we'll go on a small wait. Weekends, 7:30 about on the dot. We got a line at the door. Hot coffee's going, pancakes are filled up on the grill.
Eddie DePalma, the owner, was a little busy this morning, so his younger brother, Adam DePalma, was running the front of the restaurant. We'll get back to that later.
Well, you get the combo, you can't beat the combo, so two-way.
Opening this diner 6 months ago was a new beginning for Eddie, who once suffered from drug addiction. After years of struggling and counseling, he finally became sober.
He's done everything to see himself succeed along with everybody around him. So he's very in for helping everybody else get out of the same slum that he was kind of in and get through the bad depression if that's what you're going through.
When Eddie purchased the building, he had absolutely no idea what his plans were.
Like, I think I bought a restaurant for us. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but it's a restaurant. I'm like, oh God, okay, all right, man, let's do this.
When Eddie first bought this restaurant, he knew he was getting another chance. No wonder why when he opened the diner, he named it the Second Chance Diner.
He firmly believes that nobody is stuck on any path that they've been chosen or any bad choices that they've made. It's not what you are dealt with for the rest of your life. Anything can change. You're in control of your own life.
Speaking of new beginnings, you might be wondering why Eddie wasn't on the job this morning.
He is right now as we speak. She's about to have their first little girl, so he's all tied up at the hospital right now and everything's about to start. So.
And before long, his baby girl will be showing off her artwork. But it might take a bit more time before she can trade the crayons for coffee. Lilia Wood, Citrus TV News.
Coming up in sports, both the men's and women's lacrosse conference tournaments are underway. I've got the latest on both squads, including a live update from Chapel Hill. Plus, a pair of players are up for the Tewaaraton Award. Find out who right after this.
The pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation? New York.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Got a quarter?
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I'm Adam Unger. Conference tournament season is upon us once again, and it has a different look for the men's lacrosse team. The 4th-seeded Syracuse Orange is in the first ACC tournament play-in game against North Carolina, and it's happening right now. Syracuse stormed back against UNC on April 13th to win 12-9, and senior attack Nate Solomon spearheaded the run with 3 goals and an assist. Now, the Orange hasn't lost since March, but because of a 3-way tie in the conference standings, they're playing for the right to face top-seeded UVA on Saturday. And Citrus TV's beat reporter Sam Rothman is in Chapel Hill for the game. Sam, what's the score and what's going on right now?
Well, Syracuse with a 3-2 lead right now, and it was Syracuse who got off to the great start. Coming off a 5-point performance, it was senior Bradley Voigt who got the assist on Jacob Buttermore's goal. It was a rocket to open up the scoring, and he's been hot as of late. 8 goals in the past 5 games now after a 3-game scoring drought. And Voigt, he was just all over the field. Just moments later, he gave Cuse the 2-0 lead. But a little bit of deja vu for the Orange from 2 weeks ago. Syracuse went up 2-0 in that game, and then UNC came back to take a 6-2 lead. UNC tied the game at 2, but just moments ago, Jamie Trimboli scored a goal to make it 3-2. So Syracuse trying to get the momentum back in their favor right now.
A lot of production from the midfield for right now, Sam, and it's good that Syracuse able to stop that run, unlike the last time these two teams played. But the Syracuse-UNC matchup is becoming a bit of an ACC rivalry. After the regular season game a few weeks ago, there's a family rivalry at play too with the Solomon brothers. Nate, a senior attack for Syracuse, and Nikki, a freshman attack for UNC. Were they looking forward to playing each other again?
Yeah, Adam, I think Nikki probably a little bit more looking forward to this game than Nate after Syracuse took down UNC just a couple of weeks ago. Nikki, who is the freshman attack for the Tar Heels, he went up to big brother Nate and was talking about his 3-point performance. And Nate was like, come on, man, I got one more than you. He finished with 4 points, a hat trick, and an assist. So he's definitely looking more to this one, his team looking to this one as well. They have a little bit more at stake in this game with NCAA tournament bid on the line. So I think it's a great sibling rivalry, but the Tar Heels really looking to get a good game in this one.
A fleeting rivalry as Nate is all finished after this season. Syracuse up 3-2 in Chapel Hill. Sam, thanks so much as always. Now with the close of the regular season, the Tewaaraton nominees have been announced. Redshirt junior Nick Mellon made the 25-player cut for the men's lacrosse team, and he's been one of the best defenders in the country. The Syracuse native has shut down opposing attack all year long and has 14 caused turnovers and 24 ground balls on the year. And women's lacrosse attack Emily Harris-Chuck made the cut for the women's Tewaaraton nominees. Harris-Chuck leads the Orange with 61 goals and 45 draw controls this season. And get this, she has had a hat trick in 15 of her 18 games in 2019. 5 men's finalists and 5 women's finalists will be announced on May 9th. Harris-Chuck and the Orange took down Virginia last night to advance in their ACC tournament as well. The Orange won 12-10 on the back of, surprise, surprise, 4 goals from Emily Harris-Chuck. Mary Rahal and Sam Swartz scored 2 goals apiece, and at the other end, sophomore keeper Asa Goldstock made 9 saves in the win. Syracuse's next task is a semifinal matchup against top-seeded Boston College. The first draw for that game is 5 p.m. on Friday. And in the pros, the Syracuse Mets topped the Buffalo Bison 8-7 this afternoon. Syracuse fell behind in the 6th inning, but a 4-run frame in the bottom of the 8th carried the Orange to victory. Adani Hechavarria had 4 hits in 5 at-bats with a run and 3 RBIs. David Thompson also added 2 hits and 2 runs. Syracuse opens a week-long road trip tomorrow against the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Rail Riders. First pitch is at 6:35 p.m. And while the Mets season is still young, the Crunch are fighting to keep their season alive. Syracuse is in Cleveland for Game 4 of the first round of the AHL playoffs against the Cleveland Monsters. Center Carter Verhaeghe is averaging 2 points per game in the playoffs so far for Syracuse, and neither team has won a home game yet in the series. But if the Crunch get the win, Game 5 will be back at the War Memorial on Saturday. Puck drop tonight is at 7 p.m.
Now the NFL Draft is on tonight on ESPN, and there are 3 New York teams in the top 10, Adam. Now, I'm hearing rumors that the Bills are trying to move from the 9th overall pick farther to the beginning of the draft, and the Jets, who are at number 3, are trying to move back farther into the draft. What can you tell us about the latest on that?
Well, the consensus is quarterback Kyler Murray, the former Heisman winner, at number 1, and Nick Bosa, an edge rusher, at number 2. So the number 3 pick is something where the Bills could really have their option of whoever they want aside from those 2 players, and that someone that they're targeting is Quinnell Williams, a defensive lineman from Alabama. He was tremendous for the Crimson Tide all season long, and the Jets have so much talent on the defensive line already. It makes sense for them to try to sell that pick for someone who wants Quinnell Williams or wants someone even like a Josh Allen from Kentucky, something that gives a team a lot more options because, again, the Jets have just such a deep defensive front that they're really able to just kind of give that pick away, get a little more of quantity instead of a quality player that high up at a position that they're already so strong at.
And looking at the third New York football team, the Giants, do you think they'll be taking a quarterback?
They absolutely will. They have 2 picks in the first round, the 6th pick and the 17th pick. The 6th gives them the most options that they have at quarterback, and a lot of times you hear Dwayne Haskins, the Ohio State product who's been associated with them. Haskins threw for almost 5,000 yards this past season, and he's a New Jersey native, so he's been posting, photoshopped pictures of him in a Giants jersey next to Saquon Barkley. But at the same time, now a lot of reporters are saying that Daniel Jones, the Duke product, would be going to the Giants at number 6. Jones, someone that the Giants actually might be able to get at number 17, but either way, they're going to come away with their hopeful quarterback of the future from this draft.
All right, thanks so much, Adam. For the final time,
we'll be right back.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Welcome back, and I think, Adam, the biggest news I heard today is rumors about snow.
Yeah, I thought, no, this can't be right. I looked, and unfortunately, there's going to be snow. That's right, Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be seeing some mixed snow and rain all through the day. That's so unfortunate, right? Monday is going to be a bit warmer, 55 degrees, low 41. It's going to be sunny. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures in the 50s, lows in the 40s, clouds, and maybe a little bit of rain, but that snow, that's devastating.
All right, thanks so much for that sadly devastating news, Adam. Now, this is the final time that Gilat and I will be anchoring here at Citrus TV News, so we have a bunch of thank yous to hand out. First, of course, goes to our executive producer, Jishnu Nair, who's been producing this show this entire semester. I also want to thank executive producer Allison Heath, who produced this show last semester.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to be doing this for 2 semesters together. We also have some other great seniors in the control room, our TD Kate Wyant, our director Connor Federico, and I mean, Zach, it's been such an honor to share this desk with you, call you a friend. Want to thank my mother for watching every single second that I've been on the air here.
Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure to share the desk with you. Thank you to the rest of us, our entire Sports on News crew. They've been fantastic. Of course, our senior Adam Unger, and just our entire casting crew who have come here to help us out. So that's all the time we have for you today, sadly. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at CitrusTV News. For the final time, I'm Zach Lang.
For the final time, I'm Gilat Melamed. Have a great night, Syracuse, and thank you for an unforgettable 4 years.